My boys, in the newest TP Metal Shop update, there was a free update Super Soul from the newest update we got back in October that was put in there, and in the video I made talking about that TP Shop update, I did discuss this Super Soul and why I do not think it is that great of a Super Soul to use online, and it's due to the simple fact of the activation requirement, because the activation requirement is when your opponent's ki is at 80% or higher, it boosts your stamina recovery speed by an XXL amount, which is a great boost, and then also activates auto health recovery mode, right? So this Super Soul right here, to me, is not a great one because it's one that your opponent has to have a certain amount of ki for it to actually activate, and I explained why in that video that I don't like Super Souls like that, and particularly in this game. I don't like Super Souls where your opponent has to do something for you to activate your own Super Soul, because you can have matches where the Super Soul just does not come into effect that much at all, and then of course you can also have matches where it does come into effect at the same time, but it's out of your control completely. And another thing that I did not mention in that video is the simple fact that this Super Soul, if you're going up against a smart player who knows Xenoverse, knows the game, knows about the Super Soul, once they see it activate, all they got to do is use a little bit of ki and then it is completely gone. So they can completely lock you out essentially from using that Super Soul for the most part, depending on the character they're using / the build they're using, because there are a lot of skills in this game that you can kind of just throw out quickly, where you can either catch your opponent off guard, or it doesn't have that much of a recovery time, things along those lines where you can actually get away with it. So what we're going to do in today's video is actually use this Super Soul online in a few matches and just see how much activation I do get out of it or how much I don't get out of it. So with that being said, my boys, let's get ready for these online matches, and you know we going strong when it comes to the PvP. So let's get it. Alright, my boys, here we go. First match. Let's see again how much activation I truly get out of this Super Soul right here. What? Whoa. Did y'all see how far my man just hit me from? Come on now, Xenoverse. Now, Clash is working my favor, obviously. Come here. No, stupid. So far, 30 seconds into the match, I literally have no activation of it, and I'm not even going to stamina break my mans right here, because if I did, then I would not have any activation at all. It's still not activated for me, but I'm in a position where I can literally just stamina break him, and why wouldn't I? So you guys see right here, in this match, I really didn't get much use out of this Super Soul at all. Like, it literally did not activate until I killed this man right here, and this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about when it comes to this Super Soul. It is solely based off of how the match goes, how your opponent plays, all things along those lines, with a Super Soul like this, to where it is, for the most part, out of your control for it to actually activate. In a match like that, even though it was an absolute ass whooping, I would have much rather prefer a different Super Soul that gives me some kind of effects that actually affect the match and actually benefit me in some way, shape, or form. But again, like I said in the beginning, there's going to be matches where you get no activation, there's going to be matches where you get some activation, and then there's maybe some matches if you're going up against somebody who does not know about the Super Soul, doesn't see it activate or something like that, you can get a fairly good amount of activation and use out of it. So with that being said, let's move on to match number 2, because match number 1 was just an absolute beatdown. Alright, my boys, match number 2. Let's see if we actually get some use out of this Super Soul in a normal way this time. Come here, my boy. My man's just holding on to that block button. No, stupid. Come here. And now a character like Cell actually benefits this Super Soul that much more. Damn it, I try to get out of that. Actually benefits it that much more just due to the simple fact that he does not have much ki. That's another thing that you can take into consideration with a Super Soul like this, is if your opponent doesn't have that much ki, it actually... What? Hello? Alright, finally my Super Soul has activated. Now, he did just use an all clear to where it literally went away right after it activated. But now we have it activated once again. Let's see if he does that again. Okay, I don't know if he knows about the Super Soul. I don't think he does, because he used that all clear twice. But I mean, in this match right here, like, I am absolutely dominating, and it doesn't really, I don't really need this Super Soul to be active for the most part, if we're being honest. Like, my staminas and my health has pretty much been up the whole entire match. So again, it's just not a Super Soul. It's very situational is my thing, and it's why I don't like Super Souls like this. What are you trying to do, my boy? Like, hello? If you're trying to waste ki, that is not the way to do it. I'm sorry. Come here. And with that being said, the match is one. Oh, not this right. Limit burst. No. What? That did not come out. That did not come out. Y'all saw that. That was some nonsense. That was some absolute nonsense. All right, now we're actually getting some activation from it because this man, we keep getting clashes. You know, matches like this where that happens a lot. It's very beneficial for this Super Soul because it keeps your opponent's ki up. Come here. Come here. All right, now his stamina's... Oh, shit. But since he used that right there, now I have no activation of the Super Soul. So in that match, it was kind of beneficial, kind of not. Like, it activated, I would say, for about 45 seconds of the match. It was active maybe a minute. The match was about, what, 2 minutes and 14 seconds. So I wouldn't even say that half the match it was active. And again, it still wasn't very beneficial to the situation because in that match I was absolutely destroying the man. A different Super Soul that boosts my power or boost my my ki blast attacks, my basic attacks, something along those lines would have been much more beneficial without a doubt. And again, it's why I just do not say that this is that great of a Super Soul. Like, it's an okay one. It's a very situational one. Like, if you get into an intense match with somebody, again, who is actually good at the game, but they don't see you activate that and don't waste their ki to prevent it from being activated and continue the activation of it, it can be very beneficial because an XXL boost to your stamina recovery and health auto recovery at the same time can be very, very good in an online PvP match. But with that being said, we're going to do one more match. So it'll be 3 total matches and we'll get a decent rundown of how much, you know, I have this Super Soul active and how much I don't. Alright, third and final match, my boys. And again, these matches have been consecutive. I have not skipped over anything at all. So let's see how much activation we get out of it this time around. Oh, I'm surprised that actually hit my man's right there. Not going to lie to you. Come here. Now, he has a bit more ki, so it's going to be a little bit more time until this Super Soul actually activates, but that clash right there and Xenoverse, how it works with clashes, is very beneficial in a situation, or not a situation, but with a Super Soul like this, without a doubt. Oh, he did not ki cancel. Yeah, you taking too long on those, my boy. Oh, my stamina breaks didn't come out. No! Alright, now we should have the Super Soul active, and in a match like this, oh, see how he tried to waste his ki right there? And he just wasted, oh, he did a counter though, it didn't actually go away. But you see how he's trying to waste his ki without a doubt. So my man's is a little bit smarter, but the Super Soul has activated once again, and once again, he uses ki right away when it does activate, keeping my activation of this out of range, I guess you could say, and out of possibility. Like, this right here is a perfect example of someone who actually knows the game and what I was talking about, to where if you do run across somebody like this, they will not let you really continue this Super Soul. And I'm talking instead of actually killing this man. I'm kind of stupid right now, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I didn't just kill the man. I was so busy talking about the Super Soul and how, oh, he is getting, hold on. Oh, hold on though. Nani? Alright, will I get... No, I gotta get him up to at least one more bar, I believe. Oh, I didn't expect the time one. I did not expect the time one. Wasted his staminas. No, sir. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. No, I'm not. I'm alive. I'm alive. That times 10 is not working for my mans at all. Yeah. Okay, health auto recovery. See, right here, again, this is a situation. Oh, what? I went through my man. No. No, we ain't gonna let that rock. We ain't gonna let that rock. I'm dead. Alright, honestly, I should have won that match. I just got caught up in talking. GG to the homies, Zeta787, if that was his name. But again, you saw in that match, you saw the mans was seeing that I was using that Super Soul, right? He saw the activation of the Super Soul and would throw out a Soaring Fish, throw out the counter, things like that to waste his key really quick to where the Super Soul did not stay active. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to this Super Soul in particularly, and when you're actually fighting someone who knows what they're doing and knows the game at least to some degree. Like, if you know about this Super Soul and know and see that your opponent activates it, all you got to do is waste a little bit of key, and then that activation becomes null and void for the most part at that point in time. Like in that match, I would say it was like almost like a 2-minute match. I didn't look at the timing, but in that match, I would say for about 20 to 30 seconds, I actually had it active, as opposed to some other Super Souls that would have been much more beneficial to me in that match right there. For example, something that was boosting my damage because my dumbass was talking to y'all instead of actually focusing on killing the man during that stamina break. Again, that was just my stupid fault for not using an ultimate or using anything quicker. I was just, again, so caught up in this explaining about the Super Soul and how the man was preventing me from actually using it for the most part. And that is what I'm talking about with the Super Soul with this Super Soul right here, and Super Souls like this, and why I do not like them. Because again, having your opponent have to activate something or have to have some kind of key, health, or something along those lines is just something I'm not personally a fan of, because it all lays in the hands of your opponent essentially for this Super Soul to actually activate. Now again, if you're going up against someone that doesn't really know much about the game, it can have its activation and can have a lot of time where it is active. But also, if you're going up against someone who doesn't know too much about the game, like you kind of saw, I wouldn't say they don't know too much, I don't know exactly, but my first two opponents, they were for the most part absolute beatdowns where I did not need that Super Soul at all. So again, that is my thing about this Super Soul and with this Super Soul, and why I said, to me, it's not that great of one, even though the boosts that you do get from it are absolutely amazing. That XXL boost your stamina recovery speed and health auto recovery can be very, very helpful. But like I said in the video, when I talked about the TP shop update, if it was something where my key had to be above 80% or my key had to even be full, that would make it a much better overall Super Soul in my opinion. So again, man, as you guys saw in this video, I explained it and mentioned it multiple times. You saw it in the matches. I just don't think that this is a top tier or even a good to great Super Soul by any means. It is very, very situational. It depends on your opponent. You even saw in the last match, again, my opponent was literally trying to prevent me from the continued use of that Super Soul right there, which was very smart on his part. So again, to me, it's just not that great. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and if your thoughts have changed at all. If you were one of those who were saying that this Super Soul right here was a good one, because there were quite a few people who were saying that this Super Soul is damn good. Not even just good. Like, some people were saying it was great. Some people were just saying like it's a great Super Soul. And to me, that is just not the case in a PvP setting, because again, it all comes down to your opponent. And if your opponent has knowledge of the Super Soul like you saw in the last one, you're not going to get much activation out of it. And there are many other Super Souls that would be much more beneficial in Xenoverse 2 as opposed to that one. So again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. But till next time, my boys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, hope you have a good one. Hey, y'all.